Hi guys, welcome back. For today, we are going to talk about adding a cross term. This is to adjust the inflation premium for the effects of compounding. I want you to imagine that you earn money mainly for the purpose of enjoying a cup of coffee. That's it. You work, you invest in order to afford coffee all your life. Let's say that you invest 100 pesos to save for a cup of coffee next year, and your favorite cup of coffee costs 110 pesos each. At what rate of return would you require the investment to earn in order to afford the cup of coffee? Assume there is no risk. You may say 10%. That is, the investment should earn 10%. Since a cup of coffee costs 110 pesos each, and we will save 100 pesos in an investment I will be valued at 110 pesos in a year. That is, I is equal to 100 times 1 plus 10%. It should arrive at 110. And hence, the investment should earn 10%. However, we know for a fact that inflation is a thing. So the investment needs to work harder than that. Say the inflation rate is 7%. At what rate of return would you require the investment to earn? To simplify things, we just add the inflation premium to the real rate of return. That is 10% plus the 7% inflation rate, which acts as the inflation premium, is equal to 17%. Again, we just add an inflation premium in order to arrive at the nominal rate of return required. In this case, 10% plus 7% is 17%. So if we require the investment to earn 17%, the investment will be valued at I is equal to 100 pesos times 1 plus 17%. That will be I is equal to 117 in a year's time. The coffee in a year will cost C sub 1, that is coffee next year, is equal to 110 times 1 plus 7%. C sub 1 is equal to 117 times 70. As you can see, the numbers do not tie up. Why is there a difference of 70 centavos? The reason for this is that this simplification is overly simplistic. It didn't account for the fact that the interest itself should also be adjusted for inflation. If only the inflation rate is relatively low, this may be negligible. But sometimes, if the inflation rate is high, we have to account for this factor. The complete approach is to consider the effects of compounding. So, in other words, the interest rate itself should also be subject to the inflation adjustment. How do we do this? It may be appropriately accounted for by doing the following. R is equal to 1 plus R star, the real rate, times 1 plus IP, the inflation premium, minus 1. R is therefore equal to 1 plus 10%, quantity times 1 plus 7% minus 1. Hence, the required rate of return, accounting for inflation, should be 1.177 minus 1. That is 17.70%. So if things will go as expected, using the new calculations as an input, the investment will be valued at I is equal to 100 times 1 plus this time 17.7%. The investment will be valued at 117.70 in a year's time. This time, the two figures would tie up. They are equal at 117.70. Hence, if we are to expand the formula, R is equal to quantity 1 plus R star times quantity 1 plus IP minus 1, we may use the FOIL method and arrive at the following. R is equal to R star plus IP plus quantity R star times IP. R star times IP is what we call the cross term, an added variable to the usual calculation that will be useful if the inflation rate is too high. Again, the effect of this cross term may be negligible if your inflation rate is low. But in cases where the inflation rate is significant, we are to account for such adjustment. Again, the cross term for inflation premium is as follows. R is equal to R star plus IP plus R star times IP quantity. The last term is what we call the cross term.
Like this video if you find this helpful. Hit that notification bell to be updated for future videos.